What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So, check this out. Spec Fiction Gypsy Danger Bus, $46.99, $7.50 deposit, free shipping. That is very tempting for me. Now, Prime One Direct is over $1,000 more. And knowing Prime One, they'll probably up the shipping cost even more when it actually does ship, because almost every single time Prime One statue ships, the shipping cost increases. And who knows what tariffs may be. Where with Spec, that is the price you will pay. So, I am very tempted, folks, for, like, you guys saw my preview video. Of course, it would have to go in this room, which is my Transformers, Robot, Monsterverse, Lord of the Rings room. And the most obvious choice is it has to go down low. And we would need to sell off some Transformers. Because that price, that's basically like a silicone bust price. So I'm like, I would be comfortable paying that $46.99 shipped for that bus. I definitely think it's worth it. Where when Prime One, it's like $5,800. I'm like, yeah, that's a pass. That's just too much. But almost the same price as Optimus, but it has two arms. I could display it bottom shelf. So we really need to get serious in if we're going to consider this piece. Now, if we get it, we have to get the Prime One statue. I don't care to get the Typhoon guy. Don't care to get the bust, or maybe if they come out with a statue. Yeah, not interested. I only want the Gypsy Danger bust and statue. Now, the statue is really wide. Like, literally almost takes up an entire 48-inch wide garage shelf. It's wider than the older bust. And I know Mike Costa, Dr. Mike Collectors Enabled, he was able to fit the old bust with the statue. And it was kind of tight, like it was kind of extending out into the other shelf. And he fit them both down low, and it looked good, and he's very happy with them. He told me to buy the new bust. But like I've said in my video, I think a 60-inch garage shelf would work better. So there's kind of a few ways we can go about this if we're going to do it, which I am highly considering. Now, in terms of what I would sell, most likely, I mean, here's the thing. We have duplicates of some Transformers. Megatron, we have this one and this one. Now, it is the same character, but they do look drastically different. The only, like, similar thing is really kind of the face and I guess the fingers. But this one is a tank. It's all silver. He has a gun hand, where this one is more greenish and like rusted look. And I believe he turned into a truck in T3. Optimus is technically the exact same, but the big difference is the fact that this one, it's a museum pose with billions of swap outs. Like, I swapped out the axe for the sword. I love that gun so much, though. I am tempted to do the sword and shield. I ain't gonna lie. We do have this one, which is a semi-dynamic flying one with the jet wings on the back. But the main Optimus core body is the exact same. You just have jet wings in the back. And then both arms have these ginormous, extremely cool guns. But there's no like sword option. There's no axe option. And I like having both. So, I mean, those should be the two I sell. However, they are two of my favorite in the display. Starscream, I would want to keep since I don't have him. The hard thing is, like, if you keep Starscream, who do you display next to it? I mean, do you do Galvatron, maybe? And then you do Optimus and Lockdown? Night Optimus and Lockdown, and then you free up the shelf. We would have to, I would say, get rid of that glass shelf and move the frickin' Splinter, like, either in the glass shelf or in the turtle display. Like, if he goes no base, which he can just stand no base, I could display him right there. Like, I've kind of done it before. He doesn't need his base. It doesn't actually, like, secure him in any way, because his tail and the shape of his body, like on the lower half, secures him. So he's fine no base. Obviously, it looks better with a base. But if we remove that glass shelf and do a 60-inch wide garage shelf, that would definitely give me plenty of space to display the Pacific Rim and not have it look super tight. Because I do like to have a little bit of space between the statues and I want to be able to see everything. Now it's also super deep. So I don't want the gun sticking out like right here because it's in the walkway. It has to go there. So that does beg the question, do we want to do Transformers, Pacific Rim Transformers? That's a little bit of a, like, ideally I prefer like Transformers here and then Pacific Rim there, but the bust will not work there. Unless I bought the old bust, but of course I prefer the new one. I think it's better. I like that. I mean, the pose is almost the same as freaking Galvatron. But it is actually very similar to Galvatron. Wow. I do prefer to have the Pacific Rim right here. It just won't work there. And I prefer the new bust. So I almost feel like if you do Pacific Rim here, you can't do Transformers there. It would just, I mean, yes, you can. I could just move Galvatron right there and then move Lockdown there and then do Pacific Rim middle. Although, you guys know me, I kind of like having all my themes to kind of match. And I'm fine, like right now it's 2 themes on this wall. We'd be incorporating 3 to potentially 4 new themes if we do this. I'm kind of almost leaning towards getting rid. I mean, it's kind of a tough one because I really love that Optimus Knight. Lockdown is super sick as well, especially with the dogs. And he's such a cool villain. I'd almost say I should keep that pair and sell everything else. Now, I really like Starscream because he is like the main right-hand man of Megatron, one of my only other Decepticons. So it is hard for me to sell him. Additionally, that one has a bunch of issues. The pegs on the feet broke and are glued. Some fingers broke off and are glued. It's super unstable. Like when you move that thing wobbles like no tomorrow. Like it's going to break any second. So I hate moving that piece. It's just a very fragile piece. And they didn't really secure it very good. But, I mean, you can't really see any of the damage if we're being honest. The fingers, the way they broke and are glued back, you can't tell. The peg, you can't see. So, visually, the damage means nothing to me. However, it is a tough one to sell him. Plus, he is kind of he takes up a half a garage shelf. So it is kind of a tough one. Ideally, I'd like to keep 3 Transformers. Now, even if I did 2 60-inch wide garage shelves, that won't work. Optimus, Starscream, and Lockdown require more. The easiest way to actually do this would be to do a 25-inch shelf, so basically the same as my Khaleesi, because then you could have Starscream by himself in his own display shelf. Then you do a 48-inch wide with these 2, right there. Well, that's a tough one. I guess that would kind of put the bust right here, if you think about it. It'd be split, so the bust would have to go right there, which could work. Because then it wouldn't be quite in the walkway as much. I just can't have it there, but there would work. So in essence, you would have a shelf right here, and then a 60-inch wide garage shelf, and then you'd have to do another shelf on the end so we can be able to fit all of Monsterverse, because the 60-inch would end in the middle of Galvatron, and you obviously need space for the Kong display. So in essence, I mean, you could do another... You'd have to do another 25-inch display. And then in that, theoretically, I could throw G.I. Joe. Both those do fit in a shelf, like I've done them in the past. So I could throw G.I. Joe. That would work. You could also technically do Grimlock. He does fit in a shelf. So you could do either of those in that shelf. Although, like I said, I don't really want to have Transformers, Pacific Rim, Transformers. I'd prefer to, if I am going to do Pacific Rim here, right there should not be Transformers. So I would say G.I. Joe at that point. So right here would be G.I. Joe, Pacific Rim, 3 Transformer statues. Those 2 with Starscream. And then you sell off these 2 and Galvatron. So that's kind of the idea. So just have to think, is it worth... Now, I think Gypsy Danger, the statue, is equally as good as, Megatron, for example, or Galvatron. I think he's equal. The bust will be as good as two of them. So in terms of statue quality to like what I'm trading it out for, I think it's about equal. I think the bust is as good as like Optimus and Megatron. The statue's as good as Galvatron. So I'm not gaining necessarily like way better statues per se, but I do think that bust will be extra cool. But I'm gaining a different IP. I am losing some characters I don't actually own, like Galvatron. I mean, technically that's just Megatron in a new skin. But that is the best Megatron. Like, this one's unfrickin' beatable. Like, that is the ultimate one. And then, of course, we lose the Optimus and normal Megatron. I could keep that little Megatron bust. That's something I can easily keep and just display right there. It would be nice to get G.I. Joe out of the hallway, because then I could put Kratos out there. I could move Grimlock right here, and then do Kratos statue, Kratos bust. And then I more or less just wall mount that poster and those Blades of Chaos right above him. Keep the Transformer poster like on the right side, but to the left you do the God of War display. I think that would work. That would work. Yeah, instead of this, the one problem, the one nice thing about this is it gives me extra like walk space right here, where if I change it out, it is going to be, now here's the thing as well, it's only going to go to about right here. So in essence, it'd go like that. So you actually do gain a little bit of space, because I don't actually need that right there. And by doing a 60-inch garage shelf, I can cut that out. Now, I do have someone I'm in talks with to do like a payment plan for Optimus and Megatron. We're kind of working out the details. I'd have to sell Galvatron, which he's always like a hard one to sell. He's always on the Prime 1 summer sale, and he always, like, I think I bought him for like $900. So I definitely would have to sell him probably pretty cheap. Like 800 shipped, for example, in these 2 boxes. I'd probably only get $500 after everything's said and done. It really is a cool statue. Like, very cool. Comes with that Megatron little head, which is really cool. I'd actually love to just keep that. But it'd be harder to sell them without it. People like those exclusives. I know I do. But this is definitely something on my mind right now, just because that Spec Fiction price, that's really good. $1,000 cheaper than Prime 1. Now, normally Spec Fiction's only like $100 to $170 cheaper, but $1,000. Like, how did he go under retail with free shipping? That he must have got just some huge discount. So that price is where really what tempts me. Like, the piece is phenomenal, no doubt, but that price is very tempting. Now, in terms of like how much I could sell these for, I would do them both $2,000 plus shipping. So let's just say $4,000, that $4,500. That kind of just paid for the bust. In essence, I have to pay probably $1,500 to $2,000 for the statue. So it is costing me about, let's just say $2,000 to make this work. So $2,000 to get the Pacific Rim set up and get G.I. Joe out. I would have to build one of those shelves and then the 60-inch wide garage shelf. I do have the material for the 60 wide inch, and I don't have the material for what you see, like that display is actually a Magic Case top wood display on both top and bottom. I would need to get at least one of those. Like, she has to be on it because of how big her base is. She obviously needs it. Bottom shelf, I could just do fabric and still fit G.I. Joe. As you guys know, I have another one right here. And as you can see, that is not fabric. That is a display. So I could just still that. Do fabric there, still that. And then I can make it work. So I do have the materials to make this work. So in terms of materials, I don't have to buy anything. I do have a 60 wide inch display in there. So we could make this work. It's just a matter of selling Galvatron, finalizing details on the Optimus and Megatron. And then I would probably, try to buy that Pacific Rim statue just immediately so I could enjoy it in the meantime. And then obviously the bust would arrive in like a year to 2 years. But I'm also working out a long payment plan for the Optimus and Megatron. So I can have those sold kind of closer to when the bust arrives. Like we're kind of doing like a 1 year payment plan is kind of the idea. So yeah, that's kind of what Flankster is thinking right now. Let me know what you guys think. Should we go through with this? Losing Optimus and Megatron and Galvatron. And then gaining Kratos space, which we are desperate for, by the way. And Pacific Rim setup. And I'm a huge fan of Pacific Rim. Like, I really like that movie. As you guys know, I freaking love Transformers, which I know most people hate them. I freaking love them. I would say Pacific Rim is equal in terms of how good of a movie it is to all Transformers but 3. 3 to me is a better movie than any of the Pacific Rim movies. But I do think Pacific Rim is equally as good as like T4, T5, T1, T2, the Beast one, which is really good. So in terms of movie, I think it is just as good. Anyways, folks, let me know what you guys think. Should we pull the trigger? And if anyone is interested in Galvatron, hit me up because it will make this decision easier. Sometimes I make up ideas, but if I can't sell the statue for kind of the price I want, then I just say, screw it, I'd rather just keep it. Like I said, I'll sell them for $850 shipped in the US, which is a phenomenal deal, especially considering how expensive shipping is going to be, because it's 2 ginormous boxes. So shipping will be $350 at least. You're really picking them up for $500. So hit me up if interested. That will make this decision a lot easier. But I also do need to finalize the deal on Optimus and Megatron, because if that guy backs out, then it will probably make me say no. Because here's the thing. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.